Okay, so we were trying to load the data, and I'll just go back to Excel workbook and try to load it, and then we have KTS there, and let's see if it passes the test that we are doing. So that is KTS, and maybe if you want to transform it, as maybe you mentioned, you can click on transform data and maybe add the columns here and there, change names, the name of your column and such like stuff, change data types, and there's so much cleaning that you can do with your data. If your data is perfectly fine, that means that maybe you did the cleaning back in maybe Excel, you cleaned it in your SQL or maybe Python, R, and such like stuff. Then you can just click on load. So it will be loading. So here's where we had our issue. Let's see if it goes past that. And it's creating connections in the model. So that takes about maybe a minute or something. Yeah, it has been loaded. So maybe okay. Yeah, so they're there. KTS is there. You can see KTS store. You can see retailers information, right? And here is your data view. You can view the data that you have. So you can see maybe for if KTS is highlighted, you will see information about KTS. We have up to number 52 or 74. We have 74 rows inside here. If you click on KTS store, same thing that we saw there in Excel, and of course we have information of. So here's where we are focusing on. We want to create the relationships. But I think this is also again more of a review of what we did yesterday, this part of relationship. It's only maybe some few bits that we want to talk about that we might want to understand about this creating of relationships. Lucy Auma, your hand is up. Yes, Lucy. Okay, so Lucy is not speaking. Yeah, so this is it. You may want to even Jones, your hand is also up.
Yeah, Boniface, I have a question.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's a burning one. I don't want to continue before I ask. And on our data,
Yeah.
like maybe you can expand on that one of Keita's sales.
This one.
Yeah, just expand. Uh-huh. Okay, when I expand my data
Mhm.
on the field, there are some parameters that I'm seeing with the summation sign, and others they don't have.
Oh, if you do this,
Yeah, like you see, for customer ID you have a summation, but for customer you don't have.
yeah. So what Power BI tends to think, of course, customer ID was in it's a number type, right?
Yeah,
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not summing it at this point in time, but it tends to think that maybe one of the things you might want to do with it is to do a summation, right? But if you look at maybe something like customer, because it is text form, you can't really do a summation in a text form, right? So it
okay.
can be more of like Yaku. What do we call? You can't really sum maybe numbers and such like not really
Okay,
numbers
what
but
about
text data.
order ID and product ID?
Where in
Order ID, date purchased, order ID and product ID.
so let me see what data type we have for huh. Yeah, so what Power BI tries to create is for example, the ID is in it's in numbers, and let me see product ID the same. Huh. Or if you click this new measure and such like stuff. I really don't maybe have a correct answer for that maybe right now, but what I was thinking of at the top is that maybe what Power BI does is basically to just pick what it thinks you might want to do. And I'll really not understand why product ID has not been added the submission sign unless it was one of our
Okay.
primary keys for the order ID data, or maybe the sales, but it's not a primary key for that. So that I might answer maybe at the end of this class. I'll just go and check on
Okay.
that. But in most
Okay.
instances, you'll find that maybe the data type, or maybe let us look at the data type of this product ID before we conclude that we can have that answer at the end of the class. Let me see the data type of product ID. Oh, so 123, 123. Yeah, so maybe that information I can check on that at the end of the class, because both of them I'm seeing their data types. So,
Okay. 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 Thank you. Thank you.
okay. Um, so if you look at maybe the model view, you'll see that Power BI automatically creates um, relationships between your tables. There might be instances that it doesn't do that. I don't know if somebody has that case where Power BI has not automatically identified the relationships between the data sets. Is there somebody with that? Yeah, but if something maybe happens like that, you may always want to tell Power BI
Yes,
to.
yes, 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 yes.
Oh, Kabila, you have it.
Hello?
Yes, yes,
Unanisikia?
yes. We are getting you.
Oh, I'm saying out of my three tables, only two,
Okay.
the relationship is only between two. The Ketias 2 and Ketias sales. The other one, retail, retail
Retailers information.
information.
Hmm.
There's no relationship between it and any other table.
Okay. Yeah, but that means you can even do it manually. But in an instance, maybe where all of them, Power BI doesn't automatically identify a relationship, you always have you can set it here so that you click on file, and then you go to options and settings, and maybe options, and go to, there should be something like data load. There is in this case maybe data load, so that you tell Power BI to always auto detect new relationships after data is loaded. So whenever you're loading data, so it automatically tries to see if there's any sort of relationship between the two kind of data sets. So that is something that you can just click there, so that you have it on every time you try to load the data. There's somebody asking a question here about where do you click to get the relationship, Joy and Jerry. Okay. Um, so where you click to get, we can even decide to delete this. So Mwema Mwendo, you're asking to pardon. Where should I pardon? Like which point?
There for transforming
Here.
the part where you have just immediately before you have left it.
I just clicked transform, home transform, and here's where you can. I was just checking on this data types that we have here. Maybe you can change it to all number, such like stuff. So here is where you can do your data transformation.
Okay.
Close and apply. Jones, your hand was up.
Yeah, I have a question, Boniface. Does the order of how we have created the relationship affect the data? Because like yours, I'm seeing it's retailers information, cater sales, and cater stores. But mine has started with cater stores, cater sales, then retailers information.
Um, that is something that you may always want to confirm before, even if Power BI automatically detects a relationship and creates it for you, but you need to go back and review and see that maybe even if Cater Store starts or Cater Sales starts, it really doesn't affect
Okay.
your relationship like between the tables. So that is something that you may want to confirm. It can do it in either way, depending on how it deems fit. But the direction of
Thank you.
relationship matters, and that is what you want to look at. So, for example, if you check maybe retailers' information and Katia sales, if you click here, it you can double click this direction, not really the direction but the line. Of course, if you hover your cursor over this, it automatically tells you that there's a relationship that has been created between retailers information and Katia sales, but the column we are using to create that relationship is the customer column in retailers information and customers column in Katia sales. So you can double click. If you double click it, it opens for you to maybe edit a relationship, right? But if you look at maybe okay, if you cancel and look at let me first double click and you see that the information the relationship has been created between customer and the Katia sales and retailers information. We are using customer column in Katia sales and we are using also customer column in retailers information. Okay, let's go back to this data and look at maybe this information. We have customer table here, column, sorry, in our Katia sales. If you look at retailers information, we also have customer information. Somebody is trying to speak. Customer information here. So Katia sales. This customer information, we may even delete it and there's nothing that will really happen to our table, or maybe because we really don't need it so much as such, right? We can even decide to delete this customer information, this column here, and there's nothing that will be affected because we can as well create a relationship between retailers information and Katia sales using the customer ID, because there is customer ID in retailers information. There is also customer ID in Katia sales, right? We can just decide to even delete this one and we don't use it for building relationship. So if you double click here, you can actually change the relationship that exists here. So what Power BI automatically did is to create it for you, maybe using customer, but you don't want that to happen. You want it to create it using customer ID. So you click on that column and then come again and click on this column down here, right? And then you click on OK. So if you hover your cursor again, you will see that customer ID and customer ID is what we are using for building that relationship. Again, if you come to something like Katia sales and Katia store, if you look at it, we are using product ID and product ID also to create the relationship, right? Again, you can just double tap and see if there's something that makes sense for us to create the relationship with. I'm seeing Pashamai and Hubert.
Kindly, you are too fast.
And Hubert,
Okay, can we have it both ways, like the relationship, like the customer ID and the customer,
mhm.
maybe in Katia sales and the other one.
Yeah, you can if you change this cross filter direction to both.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll also see why sometimes it's really not advisable for you to use the both option, right? You may want to maybe keep it single or such like stuff. So for you to create relationship, of course, maybe I think that is something that you've understood. Let me just double tap and repeat once. So initially customer was selected that maybe our relationship was going to be created using customer and customer. But sometimes maybe, okay, right now it is created using customer ID and customer ID. I may want it to be created using customer and customer. So you just click on that. You click on the column there and click on this other column. Maybe this customer column was on this side. So you just click customer Auku and then you click customer Auku. Or maybe customer is the column that we are using and we are matching it with maybe something like sub-county. You really also have to check if the columns make sense in terms of creating a relationship, because you have to have data that is existent in the first table, it's also existing in the second table. So let me just get it back to customer ID and customer ID and click on OK. Okay, before clicking on OK, you can check on this relationship. Automatically it states that it is many to one. Is it correct? I want somebody to say if it is correct. Is it many to one in this case now? When initially when we had it as customer to customer, it was telling us it was many to one. Right now we are coming from, let me click first OK and talk about many to one. So if you check our direction, it is coming from retailers information to Ketia sales. So here it is, we are told that the kind of relationship here is one to many. So we can have one customer ID in retailers information, but we can have several customer ID. Like this same ID can appear multiple times in this case, Ketia sale. That is where we call it maybe one to many. Yesterday we mentioned several examples of an instance of one to many kind of relationships, right? Maybe Alvin mentioned the dating scene in Nairobi. That is if you look at it in terms of maybe one gender to the other. So for example, a man to many ladies, and then so it's maybe one to many. But again, there's a way when you look at it also, it turns out to be many to many, because somebody can be having multiple partners here and there. But a good example could be, which example can we have for one to many kind of relationship? Let me ask Sharon Odongo. One to many kind of relationship between a data set. Mm-hmm. Well, let us look at it here. So we have retailers information here and we have Ketia sales. Retailers information, if you click retailers information, I only have one customer ID here, which is 1234. The relationship that we have built is coming from retailers information going to Ketia sales. That is the direction. So inside here, I only have one customer ID. But when I look at Ketia sales and look at the customer ID, you can see that 1234 for Estes Limited, it's available here. It's also available here, 1234, 1234, 1234. You go down 1234, 1234, 1234, go down 1234, 1234. So one customer ID here can be present many times in Ketia sales. So that is one to many. I believe that answers one to many kind of relationship. You can also have, let's double tap this. You can also have one to one, right? Okay. So you can also have one to one kind of relationship. We looked at it that one child can only have one biological father, for example, right? Maybe unless I've not heard of a case where one child has been birthed by two fathers, not taken care of, but birthed by two fathers. Or maybe Alvin again mentioned something on a perfect Christian marriage, which is supposed to be one man, one wife, right? So that is also a kind of one-to-one relationship. We also have maybe many to one, right? Many to one, for example, if we change this direction of this relationship that we are having here, so that it comes from Ketia sales towards retailers information, then we have many to one, right? And you can also look at examples of, there's also many to many and such like stuff. Okay, so before that, so we've looked at cardinality, right? If I decide not to click this thing, there's this one, make this relationship active, right? If I leave it open, then it means that the relationship between Ketia sales and retailers information, it can be the relationship can be created by different kind of columns. For example, it's not only this one, that it's not only custom ID to custom ID that defines the relationship, but there can be multiple definers of this relationship. Maybe custom ID and also maybe custom and customer. These two things are identifying the relationship that we have. That is if I decide not to click here, make this relationship active. But if I click maybe make this relationship active, then it means that maybe my customer ID and customer ID here, cust ID and customer ID, these are the only two columns that are identifying our relationship. Are we together? I click on OK. Are we together before clicking on OK? Devox Omolo, are we okay? Yeah, Jabin Oganga, yes. Lucy Auma, yes. So relationship, these are things we may also want to just look at them in depth. So we've talked about cross filter, we've talked about cardinality, we've talked about the fact that maybe Power BI automatically detects for you a relationship, right? And yeah, so let us leave it single here and do something, right? So let us just leave it as this single, then we'll come back to explain both. Go back to your report view, and you want to try to create. Oh, we've not talked about this one. So in this case, I think we mentioned that relationship is identified between product and product ID, by product and product ID. And this kind of relationship, of course, it is many to one again. And let's check. Sorry, let's check this one. There's this thing that you're leaving here without changing. This one is supposed to be one to many. Let me see. So it's saying that the cardinality that you selected isn't valid for this relationship. Why is it not valid? One to many. Okay. Oh, so we are starting with Ketia cells to. So in this instance, from how our tables have been selected. So Ketia cells going to retailers information. That again gets it back to many to one. How we have selected our table. So maybe how it selected the tables. If we could have started with Ketia cells, not really Ketia cells, but retailers information. You've seen that section where we were creating the tables here. So if this could have been, let's start with the retailers information there and bring it back to Ketia cells, right? What will be the relationship? Was it Ketia cells? Okay, Ketia cells. And then we click on customer ID. Yeah, you see, it now changes to one to many, right? So you click custom ID and custom ID. So depending on how our table is arranged. So if we arrange it like starting from this retailer's information coming to Ketia cells, you see now it is a relationship of one to many. One customer ID present here, but here we can have the same ID present multiple times, right? Yeah, we may just want to get back to Ketia cells, what we had initially, retailers information, and click on this. Also click on this, and then it turns to many to one. Okay. we wanted to explain that this issue about single. How do we explain that? Yes, so let's try to build a certain relationship here and maybe bring in city. So you can see it's you just expand this retailer's information and click on city. Yeah. So we may want to see maybe how many product IDs were bought from these cities, right? Where do we find our product ID that we want to work with? So we can go to get your sales and get our product ID here and bring it to drag it there to data. Sorry, is that what you want? Let me see. We should be counting. Okay, don't summarize. So let's see a count of our product IDs. And I don't want it in that form, I want it in a table form. Somebody's hand is up. Pashamai.
Kindly, how did you go there?
Oh, okay. Let me remove all that. So, are you able to see this city? Is everyone able to see this city? Of course, initially it wasn't. You can just expand that so that you see this city, right? Pashamai, you're seeing that, eh? Jones.
Okay, I'm kind of stuck. How did you transform from now the three relationships to now this interface that you have, these build visuals with your data?
We were initially here in model view, right?
Okay, yeah.
So you can just click on report view.
Oh,
Click.
okay, okay.
Yeah. So what we can do is to for us to understand why that single can sometimes not apply, click on this city. If you click on it, of course, automatically you see it's brought here, right? And we want to go to Ketia store and look at the product ID. We want to see like the number of products that were bought in every city, in the cities that we have here. And if you click on this part, there is aggregation. Don't summarize. And I want it to be maybe to be counted. And I don't want it in a clustered chart. I want it maybe in a matrix form, a table. Evita Ross and Jones Karanja, your answer up. But I hope that we have done this first step before we ask any question.
Yes, I'm trying to. If I click on the city, it's only giving me a box. Then inside the box, there's just a map and field. Map visuals are disabled to enable them. Yes, so I don't know how to like get the list of the cities.
Anybody else having the same problem?
I do have the same problem.
Okay. Ingrid Amunga.
Yeah, same, but it gave me instructions on how to go about it. You go to file options, then security, and then you enable maps. You'll be able to get the visual that you're getting.
So Evita, you can just repeat so that Evita and the rest also captures that.
Yeah, so on that box, there's a highlighted text, I think see details. So when you click that, it will, you go to file, then options and settings, then options again, then security is up there somewhere, Then at the bottom, just scroll down. Yes, there's somewhere written maps. Yeah, so you have to check that box. Then you'll be able to see the maps.
Okay. I believe that is captured. Are we okay? Mwema, it's you go to File and then go to Options and Settings. Click on Options and maybe it's loading. And go to Security. And down here there's Maps and Field Map Visuals. So if you check it, you ensure that it is checked. Then click on OK. Yeah. So I believe we are there. So
No, I've done that, but now it's giving me it has I just do have a map now showing I just have a map of Kenya on that box showing showing the towns, the counties or something, the towns.
yeah, can you show your screen so that we sort it in a minute? Evita.
I'm on it. Can you see it here?
Yeah, we can see it there. So it's because in your there's that part written visualizations, right?
Yeah, yes.
What you have highlighted is maps, but can you highlight a table? There's this matrix next to R. No, go next to R. There's R pi and also hello. Yeah.
Yes.
No, so move to R and move to the next one.
This one here,
Click
matrix.
click matrix.
Perfecto.
Okay. So
Thank you.
you can stop sharing. So those are just visuals that you can use. Let me go back to presenting. So visual types, of course, here if I expand mine, I can use every kind of visual. So for example, even the maps that you are using, of course, it's here. But maybe I have an issue or something. I've tried this with a different kind of data, and it has told me that I'll sort it out on my end. But that is what I will use. Maybe I will even want to do a donor chart, depending on if it really makes sense for my for my data. So you can see even I have a donut there. I can use the funnel. I can use the clustered bar chart. I can use field maps and such like stuff. But let's use matrix, right? Now, if you look at this, it's telling us that the cities product IDs were bought like there were the same number of products that were bought. I mean, the same types of products that were bought for every Kisumu, for Mombasa, for Nairobi, for Nakuru, which sometimes it really doesn't make sense that you'll have it very perfect that way, that Kisumu and Mombasa, wote walinunua. If it is somebody was buying those N95 masks, somebody was buying maybe unga and such like stuff, it happened for all the cases. So you can go back to model. We can go back to model and click this. Double click it. Of course, if you double click and change it to both and click OK. And let's go back to our data and see what happens. And let's redo it again. Okay. So if I've clicked both for this end, I should also be clicking both for this one. Let me change this one also to both and click OK. Let me go back to my data. Yeah, now you can see that Kisumu bought How many? 10. Mombasa bought 9, Nairobi bought 8, Nakuru bought 7, right? I hope you are able to see that. Kabila, your hand was up. I believe yes is sorted. Anybody who is able to do that, to see
No,
where
I'm not.
both
I'm not
has
sorted. I'm not.
maybe helped us. Sorry.
I was asking you got this summation count of product ID.
Okay. But in terms of finding those answers to be 10, 9 and such like stuff. Oh, Eric, you're saying I'm too fast.
Hiyo ndio nataka hizo 10 9. My table iko na cities
Yeah.
and then nikiweka product ID instead of count in a list.
Okay. Let me remove this to single. Yeah, Eric, I'm fast because there's something that you wanted to cover that maybe we'll. Okay. Let me go slow. Let me get them to single, all of them. So after changing it to single, of course, you click apply changes. If you click this one for single also, you change it to single and apply changes. Okay, let's delete everything that we had here. So for you to delete, you just click on this and remove. So here is where we were initially. Here's where we are. So what you want to see is like the difference in terms of product IDs that were ordered by every city, right? So that is why maybe we are picking city. You can just double tap on city. Yangu automatically comes as a table, right? This is a table, but I want it in form of maybe a matrix, right? I want it that way. And then you go to your, maybe your Ketia stores and you have this product ID. I'll double tap it again. What happens if I double tap? Oh, sorry. I had not added it. So I can drag this into my values data, and then it turns to 10. So it is in count of product. You can click on this data options and then aggregation. You'll see count. You may want it count distinct. Of course, it changes nothing. You may want it maybe in terms of maximum. Of course, it brings in a different kind of information. You may bring it in terms of average. It will be bringing in a different kind of information because it's not true what is being calculated. Are you seeing where we are, Sam? And maybe what you want is you want it to count the number of times where a certain product ID distinctly was ordered. I mean, right? So if product ID for let's go back to this. If this product ID, because we are using Ketia store, let's click on this product ID. So if maybe nylon rope was ordered by a farm or maybe a retailer that is in Kisumu, it will be counted. So it will count this, it will count maybe stainless steel axe too. If nylon rope was ordered again, it will not be counted, right? Because it had already been counted, maybe and such like stuff. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 products, distinct products, I mean, right? So it will count. Kisumu may be ordered N95 mask, water purifier, duct type, weatherproof jacket, solar, and such like stuff. Imepata 10. Maybe it goes and checks for the ones, maybe the farm in Nairobi. It ordered maybe all these things except maybe water purifier and N95 mask. So it will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there were 8 products that were ordered, right? So it will look at it with the product ID here. So that is what you are trying to do. let's go back to this. So looking at it, it seems like maybe this information, so this total here is for the total number of distinct product IDs that we have, right? And so it is 10. And to some extent, maybe this information is not correct, right? Because of the type of relationship that we had created there. When we put it here as cross-filter direction to be single, right? So we may want to change it, try to change it to both, and come also to this one and change it to both, and then apply. Just click on apply changes. Let's see if so. This one is still single. If you click it in both and apply changes and come back to your information here, you see it changes, and it tells us that Nakuru, there are 3 products that were not ordered by the farm that is in Nakuru. And you go to Nairobi, similar, Mombasa the same, but Kisumu ordered all the products, right? The farm that is in Kisumu ordered all these products. So that is where the single or both helps us, right? Alvin, your hand is up.
Sorry, I'm not able to load the visuals on the side on hapo kando ya matrix. I'm not able to load them. So how do I sort it out?
Like the same way mine is appearing.
Yeah.
Okay. If you click on this table, if you just click on it, you'll see these things appearing here, right? You can click on this one where add data and build your visual. You just click on that and you will see them here. And if you want anything more, you can click on this and then you'll find them all here. Yeah. And so that is how to create relationships in. Okay, data modeling in Power BI can be a little bit tricky, but I hope maybe that gives you a soft landing spot so that we go and even try to practice around with it. It can sometimes happen that you have like 20 tables and you want to create relationships for linking like all of them, right? So it gets complicated the more tables you have. And so it will come easy as a result of practice. Sawa sawa? Are we together? Let me see.
Yes.
Let me get from Lewis Gatimu. Are we together? Tiamwe. Ingrid Amunga, yes. David Wang, yes. Moses, yes. So somebody else who hasn't spoken. Wendy, are we okay?
Yes.
Cool. Mine is a map. Eric, we had talked about how you can change that. So you can change them. So if yours is a map, maybe let's click this and you type on this. If yours is highlighted as a map here, just change it to maybe a matrix, change it to a table, change it to something else. Play around with these things. R and the likes and all these stacked column charts, so donut and even like a pie chart. We can even click a pie chart so that we see that. Of course, let me double tap and sorry. We click this and we can even show it as a table, but there's something more that I wanted, not just that. Okay, I'll figure it out. Oh, here. So if you expand it more into, you can see that maybe Kisumu is ordering maybe 29.41%. You look at Nakuru, it is ordering 20.59. Nairobi is 23.53, and Mombasa is 26.47. So Kisumu is ahead, followed by Mombasa, followed by Nairobi, and finally Nakuru. So you can go back to your report. Okay. You can go back to your report. Yes, Sangoro.
Yes, I have a problem with the table.
Yes,
Mine
what's the problem?
instead of bringing the count
Hmm.
in the product ID, it shows all the cities plus the product ID instead of counting the total number of product IDs. I don't know
It
why
is
they are.
it is here under the values.
Yes.
You click on this arrow. Are you able to see that in your Power BI?
My Power BI is not bringing that builder visual.
It should be there. So just click on that table and you will see.
Same here. Mine doesn't. Mine is not bringing the build visual. It's only bringing the filter, and I don't know what do you call it. Is it focus mode or something?
Uh-huh. Okay. So you have only this section. Someone's, can you
Yes.
unmute? You only have like view and format.
Mine is filter,
Uh-huh.
visuals, and data.
Yeah. That should be. But if you how about if you click, you click on the table that you've created, and then this appears. Add data and build your visual. Is this appearing?
No.
Can you show? Okay. Can you just show it in very fast? Eric, you're having a similar problem. Bramwell.
I've heard one of them say that he can see filter, visuals, and data.
Mm.
I think when you scroll down at the part of visuals, you'll be able to see columns, then values.
Okay. So yours is appearing this way.
Yes.
Can you click outside that table? Go back and click inside, or maybe drag that table a little bit down. Down. Okay, there. How about if you click inside it? It doesn't appear. No, inside, I mean. Or the visuals doesn't appear on that side. Okay.
Yes.
Go back to, there's this section written columns, city, and then there's product here. On the okay, click on that one, on
Yeah.
product. Yeah. Yeah. Then click on count.
Okay.
Yeah, so this means you haven't changed your relationships where we were changing them. Go back and change them to both and click apply, both, click apply, and then you will have what we have right now. You can stop presenting.
All right.
I believe that sorts out even Evita and anybody else. I don't know if it was Evita. That should be okay. Okay. Another thing that now we want to talk about is, and of course, I mentioned to you how to create relationship from scratch, right? Suppose this one doesn't exist. Let us just right click and delete. Right click and delete. Do you want to delete this relationship? Yes. Let us also right click this one and delete. Yes. So sometimes you have this blank information heavy. So that maybe Power BI did not automatically create it for you, but now here you can create the relationship, right? So we wanted our relationship to be identified from customer ID to customer ID. So retailers information, and then to Katia sales, you click on customer ID and drag it to this other customer ID here and leave it. Okay. Similar to maybe Ketia stores and Ketia sales, we wanted it to be identified on product IDs. So you just drag it and bring it back here and go through all the steps that we had mentioned. It was single. We don't want it to be single. I mean, as per what we were doing just recently, a minute ago, and also this one we can change it to both. So when it is single, you can see that the direction is one, like it's unidirectional. But if you have it as both, then you have it as bidirectional. Bi means two, right? I believe that is something that we are aware of. And maybe click OK. And everything gets back to where we were. And our table is still maintained. So you can play around with how to create visuals in Power BI. Next, we want to go and look at something called data analysis expression. It's famously known as Dutch language or DAX language, depending on maybe if you went to group of schools. Eric,
Yes, I didn't understand the part where the count was being like mine is not a column. It's not in a column. It's showing each values of the count.
yeah, I think we've sung that for quite a while now. We've really talked about it for the longest time. But you can just go back to where values is. You can click on this and then aggregation. So the field that we are using is count of product ID. If you click on it, you may want to change it if you want to. Aggregation count and such like stuff. If it appears as a visual here, you look at where your product ID is, somewhere around here. Mine doesn't have that visual properties on this section, so that's it. We want to look at something like I believe Eric, you're okay. So we want to look at what is called the data analysis expression language. Who has ever heard of the Dutch language or the DAX language or the DAX? It's the same way some people you'll find them pronouncing SQL as SQL. Of course, I'm one of those people pronouncing it as SQL. Somebody will want to do it at SQL. So Dutch, DAX, DX. Who has ever engaged with the DX language? Victor, have you?
SQL?
No, the Dutch language.
Not yet.
Okay, so I think you've also met quite a number of functions in Excel, like sum function, count function, count if, sum if, count a, and so many X lookup, V lookup, and quite a number of functions that are there: max, min, trim, and etc. So we also want to see how you can create new measures and create columns using the Dutch language. Everything that you've done here, for example, there's this table. Let me just change it back to a table. If I change it to a table, even this one that we have here, we can create it using. We can create this column using what we call the Dutch language, right? Or we can even create a different kind of thing using using this Dutch language. We'll have a look at that. But so, for example, let me see what we call the customer information, not the retailer's information that we have here. And maybe we want to create a new column in where do we want to create it? Maybe in the retailer's information, or maybe let us use Katia store, not the retailer's information. and create a new measure. Click on new measure. So we will see it here. Click on new measure and it's working on it. Yeah, there's a new measure. It's being created. So what is this new measure that we are talking about? Maybe this new measure is count of just what we did, count of product ID. Count of product ID. Yeah, it's really long, but Alex. So Alex,
Oh, yes.
okay. Alex, if you have a question, you may just ask. But we are here in data view, and you click on this Katia store. We want to create the same thing the same information that we created initially there, the table that we created there. So we may want to name it as maybe count of product ID, or maybe we can even leave it as the measure that we had. Measure, and say start typing. The moment I start typing count, you can see so many kinds of functions that you can use. There's count A, count A X. We'll also look at this where you have an X after a function. Count X, counter X, sum X. It's more of a anyway. We'll see how it's going to help us. We'll just check on one of the examples. So what you want to really use is this count. You can press on tab, and then what do we want to count? We want to count maybe the product IDs in the Katia store. So you look at Katia store and go to product ID and just tap on it and close the bracket or the parenthesis and tap on enter. What happens when you when you tap on enter? You can tap on enter or click this box here, not really box but tick, and it tells you to commit, right? If you click on it, we have a new measure here. Is somebody able to do that? Yes? Wendy, have you done that, Wendy? Wendy? Kelbit? Wendy, I'm following. I want you to be doing. My laptop ilizima. I'll watch. Aloch, are you okay? You're okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So if you have any question, you can type it on the chat box. But I believe you've seen that. Let's go back to our report view and let me tap on this. So you can see there's a new measure here. So I'll just create the same thing that we had here. Let me just open this retailer's information and bring in city. I can just drag it and place it anywhere I want, right? So maybe let me put it there and go and bring measure. How about I add data to measure? So measure, what is happening with our measure? Okay, yeah, it's okay. So if we tap on, yeah, if we tap it on the table, it changes it now to the same thing that we had here. Now here we don't have to go back and change what we are changing at this point, count of pro, go back and select count ID and such like stuff. So maybe this is where we needed to change maybe the name, but that is now an easier step to do. Okay, Simendo, have you been able to do that? Who is facing a challenge just doing that simple Dutch language? Nathan, is the microphone on? Anybody having an issue? Put up your hand before we get something complex. Not really complex, but I'm just trying to warm you up for that. Kindly repeat, you were too fast. Alvin, who else feels I was fast? Sharon Udongo.
No, you are
You're
fine.
fine.
Just
Okay.
repeat for.
There, Marshall. Is it Marshall or Mariel?
Marielle.
Oh, Mariam. Okay.
Mm.
Are you okay?
I'm okay, yeah.
Because
Following.
compared to Python, you've not been active in Power BI.
No, I will be tomorrow, inshallah.
Okay. Let me remove this so that I repeat what we did. Remove. And then I also want to remove this measure that we created. Delete from model. And then yes. So it is removed. Alvin, are we now at peace? So that I start. Okay. Okay. Oh, Mushiti.
Yes.
I see you're there. So if in Katia Store, I can just right click and click on new measure, right? I can do that. And what happens when I do that? Yeah, it goes to the measures tools and we have a measure here. So Alvin, step number 1 is to just find your new measure. And after finding your new measure, you may want to rename that measure to maybe what we are really doing is count of product ID. Count of product ID. Then is equaling to, here is now where you define what you want to get. So for example, I want to get the count, of course, just as the name says, count, and then you can see various types of count functions, right? If I type on sum, then I'll see maybe summarize column, sum x, and such like stuff. If I click if, I can see if error, and such like stuff. Sum if, do you have the sum ifs? Okay, sum if, I'm seeing it's not there. But anyway, you can try to check on different columns that different functions that you also looked at in Excel. But for this, let's go into count, and then you can tap on this or you can tab. There's a tab on your keyboard. You can just press that so that you have it there. So it is telling you what is the column name that you want to use. You can see here counts the number in a column. So this one is describing more on the function of this count. And then the column that you want to use is Katia Store product ID. Katia Store product ID. And then you close the parentheses. You can press on enter or press this one. Click, I mean this commit. If you don't want that, you can click on this to cancel. But what you want right now is to commit this. So you can even see the description of this, the new column that you're creating. Count of product ID. I think we need to have a space between count. Yeah, count of product ID here. And then it is called, I can just click again to commit. And then we have it is in Katia Store. What is this type of data? It is a whole number. So it tells you that it chooses how the values in this column are displayed. This does not impact how they are stored. This is just something that is, we are not creating a new column, but we are just creating a new measure. It doesn't really affect how product ID is stored inside the original data that we created, right? And so, yeah, that's how it is. So when you click on commit, you can see that our count of product has been created. Now let us create this table again. I have the retailer's information. I want to bring it here. I can just drag it, right? And then place it there. Now I am building my visual. Let me go back to the new measure that I created and bring it to, drag it to the add data, this type, right? You can see that I don't really need to go to this place and, right? It's already maybe aggregated as count of product ID. So I can just change it from these visual types and maybe these ones. I can change it to this. I can change it to this. Or I can change it to the matrix table that we had. And that's it, right? That should be easier. I can even drag this whole thing to here. Maybe let us put it there. Anyway, I mean, and any other type of Dutch DAX expression that we can write? I mean, Dutch expression that we can write. So that is the Dutch count, right? Alvin, are you okay? You asked for us to do a repeat of that. Yeah, okay, yes. So maybe another thing that you can do is we can even check which product is doing better, right? Which product is really doing okay. So still in Ketia Store, we can create a new measure, right? You can just click on new measure. We are still in Ketia Store. You can click on new measure, and we want to see which one is being sold the highest, right? So we can maybe call it, of course, new measure, but then what we want to do is to sum. So what do you want to sum? Which column should we be using? Of course, we are in Ketia Stores. Which column can we use? Kabila. Which column can we use?
Price.
Price.
Oh,
We are talking about product.
no, sum of price.
Sum of price.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's use two arguments. Okay. So you are saying sum of, oh, sorry, I have not defined this. Price.
Yes.
Is it really going to, sorry, let me delete this first before, I did not complete writing it, so you can delete it. So we can remove this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so we were in Ketia Stores and you're suggesting that we use price. Will it really give us the product that we want? How about if we use product name? Will it really have something for us? Can we try product name?
Can we add names?
Name.
Yeah.
What am
I'm
I?
asking.
Okay. Yes.
Is it possible for us to add names?
Yeah, we
See,
can.
names is a string.
Okay. Let's try it out first and see if it makes sense. So you were saying we use maybe in bracket Ketia store, Ketia price. But is price really going to give us? Okay, let's see. Okay, so we already have price. So what are we dragging on the to visualize? We are still at you, Kabila.
Yes. See, price in each city. Price in each city. The sum of price in each city.
Okay, so let's see city here, and let us bring in the new measure that we created, right? The new
Yes.
measure was this, and then maybe let's have it as a table. So are we really seeing price, or we are seeing the cities? Like the cities, like for example, Kisumu is doing better. From the result, we are seeing Kisumu is 299.19. Who is that laughing? Okay, let's try with something else. So you can delete this. You can delete from model. It's taking time. Okay, so we can also remove this one. Let's see Ketia cells, and we use maybe create a new column and see create a new measure and say sum, and then tab that and use the units sold. There's this Ketia cells units sold, and tab on that so that it creates the new measure that we want to use. Then now let us drag something like product name. Yeah, we have product name here. So we can drag product name there and drag the new measure that we created. And maybe we have it in table form. And if you enlarge it, so what do we see? So which one is doing better? Which one is doing better? Yeah. So we have a multi-tool survival knife, right? All the way to solar battery flashlight. So Jamin Oganga is, yeah, Jamin, you got it also. Kabila, have you seen that?
Yes, I thought you wanted the best performing cities.
No, product.
Oh, fine.
Okay. Who else is Moses? Are you okay? Moses Kalia.
Yes, I'm okay.
Who else? Let me see. Somebody is Ezekiel. Ezekiel.
Yes, I'm okay.
Ah, okay. That means that people are getting it. So there are quite a number of. Okay. Everything that you've done, we can just put them here. We can delete this one so that it's the same thing that we had. So remove it and bring in maybe this one down. So you may want to have your table arranged, your data visualization tab arranged correctly. Why is this one not going down? Okay, here it is. So maybe you want something else. Which days of the week are we selling too much, right? We can do that one also. We just try to see which day of the week are we selling so much. So who is going to help us do that Dutch language? So inside here you have so many information, right? You have that, you have price, and you have maybe your there's a one that should be containing. Let's delete this date purchased. So let's delete this count of. Anyway, we can just leave it. So there's date purchased, right? So what can we try to see? We may see the days of the week that there are so many orders being placed, right? So for example, if I do a date purchased here and bring in order ID, can we bring order ID or unit sold? So we can bring in unit sold, right? And add it there. But then the only information that we are having here is for 2023. Maybe delete this year. We don't want to see the year. So we can see it in quarter one. Quarter one, it means that maybe all our sales were done in the first quarter. That is January, February, and March. April, I believe there was no sales. That's quarter one is 333 up to. So we may also want to remove this quarter. So you can see that maybe January, the number of sold units sold was a little bit high in February, and then the last one was in March, where there was sold 6 or 9 units. So there's something here also called a drill down. We'll talk about it tomorrow. You can see turn on, drill down, and such like that. Let's go back to our data. And here we can we don't want to see it in terms of month, but we want to see it in terms of days. Let's choose a better visualization like chart. Yeah. But if you look at this, is it really telling us the exact days that sales were being made? Because here it's more of sum of units sold per day. Day one, it just brings a summation up to day 30. This is day 30. So it is regardless of whether it is January or February, but day 31 of maybe January plus March, there was a total of 46. On day 30, there was 16. Day 29, there was 9 units. And then day 28. Day 28, this is summing January, February, and March. But we don't want to see that. We may want to see maybe sales that were made on maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So we can just keep this one, but we want to write a Dutch language to show us. I mean, sales that were made on the exact days, right? So which one are we going to use? Where are we going to create the new measure? Yeah, of course, get your sales, because that is where we are finding the date purchase. So this time around, we are not creating a new measure. Let us create a new column. Let us click here, data view, and of course, create a new column. Type on create new column. So we've been doing creation of new measures and such like stuff. So let us create a new column and call it, what do we call it? Maybe even day of the week, right? Day of the week or weekday. Okay, let's just leave it at day of the week. When you type day, of course, you'll maybe see different functions here that you can use. There's today, there's weekday, next day, day, and such like stuff. There are all those kinds of functions you can use. But you want to use this function called weekday. I previously sent something on weekday when you are doing Excel for you to know maybe how to use weekday and such like stuff. You can even use it in Excel. You want to use it again here. So what we want to see is the date that like maybe, okay, this one is the column that you want to use. So for example, we want to use the column called date purchased, right? So we can just type, let me see. So yeah, so here Ketia sells date purchased. So if you have not seen what you've done, so weekday, and then the first thing that you're supposed to be writing is the column that you want to do a transformation on, and you have to write it in quotes. So that's why I typed the quotes that we had. So and just start clicking. So we want to use the Ketia sales, but the date purchased. I hope we are together. When you press comma, are you seeing 1, 2, 3? Nathan, are you able to see 1, 2, 3? Nathan, Nathan is not able to speak. Jabin,
Yes.
yes. Joy,
Yes.
yes. Who else? Who is not seeing that 1, 2, 3? Lewis,
I'm okay. I'm okay.
I'll watch. I want the backbenchers. When you ask them, does this increase or decrease? They shout crease. Okay, those backbenchers are the ones we may want to know them. Okay, so there is 1, there is 2, there is 3. Can you explain to us what 1 means? Let me ask Muchiti, what does it mean when we click on 1?
When you click on one,
Yeah.
I think it means 1 day.
1 day. How about
The
if
first day
you
of
click on 3? If you click on 3, it means 3 days.
just thinking.
Oh, okay. How about let me get somebody to answer that. Ingrid,
I guess one is the first day of the week.
which is
I don't know, Monday, I think. Or that's what I don't know, but first day of the week.
okay. So
Monday.
how about if we click 3?
The third day of the week. So it depends what your first day is. Then you can count the third day from the first day we determine. So if it's Monday, then 1, 2, 3, 3 would be Wednesday.
Okay. Lewis, I see your hand is up. Fly away.
Okay, maybe I try. You see, there is this column that, for example, there is this entry, Saturday, comma, January 28, comma, 2023. So I think if you choose one, it will decide either of the three. It will choose to display either of the three. If you choose two, it may decide to choose either of the two parameters. If you choose three, it may return the 3 parameters. That's my thinking.
Okay. Yeah, this is Gumbaru school, and all the answers we consider them right. So you can see if you click on 1, just click on this thing called read more. If you check here, you can see it picks Sunday to become the first day and Saturday to become the 7th day. Okay. If you click on 2, sorry. If you click on 2, let's go to this 2 and read more. Why is this thing misbehaving? So you can just use your down and up arrows. It tells you that Monday is considered to be the first day, Sunday is considered to be the 7th day. If you choose on 3, Monday is considered to be day 0, right? Through Sunday 6. Monday being now the 7th day, I mean. So Sunday is 6, Monday is 7, Sorry? Oh, Sunday is 6th day. So Monday is 0, Tuesday 1, Wednesday 2, Thursday 3, Friday 4, Saturday 5, and then Sunday 6. So Monday is given in 0. So which one do you think we should use? Anyway, here you can use any that you want, right? But which one do you like? There, which one do we use?
We can use from 1 to 7
1 to
because
7.
0 is there, yeah.
There is 1 to 7 for 2, there is 1 to 7 for 1, where 1 is Sunday is counted as day number 1 and Saturday is counted as day number 7. This one will really be good for those who are in SDA. Are going to church on Saturday, I mean, right? Saturday, so it really answers. So you can maybe think of it as maybe Monday to work as the first day, or we can use this 1. So if I type here 1, sorry, I've not added one of the arguments. Yeah, so you add there 2 and then click on tick, right? Yeah, so you can see here, if it's Sunday, it's considered to be day number 7, Monday is considered to be day number 1. So all through up to huko chini. So let's try to create another. We want to compare it with this one, right? So let's bring this day of the week. So we have 293. Is it really 293 days? Or it summed it. Okay. That is a new column. Let's go to units sold and bring units sold here and try to see what is happening with our. Okay. So this one should not be aggregated. This should be, don't summarize. Yeah, don't summarize. So we can change this back to this visual. Maybe this one. Is it a clustered column chart? Not okay. So you can have a look at it now, right? So
A minute.
Okay.
Where did you go so that you can Apple kwa day of the week so that it can show not to summarize?
Oh, okay. So here you can maybe just click back to this, and then when you look at the day of the week here, you can click on that data options. Not that one. Okay. It's that. So here is where I went to, and it should be somewhere here. You click and then you mention that it should not be summarizing your day of the week, because initially when we brought it in, automatically ilikuwa imeiweka as sum, right? So when you just click on that day of the week and then click on this, it should be showing you those different options, either count or count distinct and such like stuff, or don't summarize. So there's the first option on top that you will see. It's don't summarize. So that is what you use for that. So when you look at it this way, and then you can see now on the first day, our first day was considered to be Monday, right? So on Mondays, let's see. So on Monday, how many? What is the total number of sales that we had? We had 459, right? If you press this, and of course you can even see changes in our table every time I press something here. So that is also the beauty of Power BI. But we'll see that using something called a slicer. So here you can see even every time I click maybe a day, It highlights for me the number sold. It highlights for me the products that were sold here and the city, how much or maybe how many product IDs were sold. If I click on that. But generally, you can just maybe hover around it and see that Monday there was 459, Tuesday there was 486, Wednesday 437, Thursday 462, Friday 354, 376, 427. So what can you conclude from this pattern? Are you seeing any sort of a pattern? Yeah? Are we seeing any pattern? Let me see from the comment section. I'm still having a challenge. Alvin. Who is seeing any pattern here? So we can even add data labels here. Click on that, add data labels, and you can see 459, 486. I want somebody to make a conclusion. Is somebody called Evita Ross here? Evita. Weekdays seem to be doing better than weekends, except on Sundays. So weekdays seem to be doing better on weekend. Weekdays seem to be doing better than weekends. Or maybe you can even say that our sales are high between Sunday and Thursday, right? Maybe something of that sort. Because 437 and 462, it's really not that far apart, right? So you can maybe tend to say that our sales are really high on Sunday running through to Thursday. Then when we approach the weekend, mambo inabadilika, right? Alvin, you're having a challenge. Have you sorted out that issue? So this comparison, even as you see it, compared to this one that we initially had, this one is really more precise as compared to this, because this one now adds all the days. So for example, this day one is day one of January plus day one of February plus day one of March, but you're really not sure in terms of what was sold per day, per day of the week, I mean. Yes? Yes, Alvin?
Okay, what I was saying is I'm not able to get like the distinct count here. I'm trying to, even I've gone up to the column tools tab. I've tried to, click the don't summarize option, but to no avail. So that's the challenge I'm experiencing.
Can you share your screen so that we stop after working on your issue?
Okay, okay.
Okay. Kindly share. Okay. So what's up? Okay. Just continue sharing.
You see, I cannot be able to, select from here the exact numbers. You can see, you can select here. I've tried to right click, but
Okay.
to no avail. Even I've come here and nothing.
Okay, click on that. Oh, so you're on the first one that you are looking at. Can you click on that table? The first table.
This one.
No, not that one. The sum of units sold by year. Okay. Cancel this year. Click kuna year hapa under the x-axis. Yeah, remove the year, remove quarter, remove month, remove also. Okay, you can just expand it a little bit and even choose. You can even choose a different visual. You can choose a different visual for that. So what were you asking?
Now
This different.
you see I cannot be able to, get the distinct day.
Okay. Did you create that new measure?
Yeah, I did. It's right over here.
So, but I'm seeing here you have another count of the days by unit sold and the day of the week. There's this new table.
This is now the error I'm getting on my side.
This is the error.
Yeah, the count instead of the 1, 2, 3 until 7.
Okay, drag the new measure that you created.
Here.
Oh, that is the new measure that you created.
Let me start afresh.
You can remove it. Wait, then drag the new measure to. Okay. Then drag unit sold. Yeah, but that's it. So you can just change it to a different visual, the same as the one up there.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Anybody having any question before we leave? Anybody having a question? That is the Dutch language.
Question.
Yes.
Question out of Dutch language. We've not the You've not sent the links for the classes for the yesterday's class.
The link for the video.
Yeah.
Are you sure, Chairman? I think I sent it in the group. Unless you are added just a minute, like a few minutes ago, but the video was sent yesterday.
Oh, I don't even think I've been added.
Okay, Sawa. You will be added, or you can just check if you haven't been added.
Sir.
Okay. Of course, I'll also share maybe other resources for you to learn more on Dutch language. But what we have done is just a soft landing spot into it, so that we really don't box somebody out of understanding Power BI. And so that is just simple to get us up to speed with this. So tomorrow we'll be doing more on visualization. But again, here we have just introduced ourselves to visualization, right? And what you can just do is how to arrange this table now, how to arrange our 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 dashboard, right? So this is what we call a dashboard. So this is an introduction to what we are supposed to be doing for the better part of tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So we'll also maybe do one last thing, and that is, okay, can you try to create an expression to count the profit, right? The profit that you are getting from every product. Kindly do that. Are we together, Alvin and Kabila and Moses, Eric, Jabin, Muchiti, Evita?
Yeah.
So go and try to create an expression to calculate the profit. And up to that point, let's see each other tomorrow. Unless there's anything to say before we leave. Please share the link. Yes, the link will be shared after it is loaded. Okay, have a good night and see you tomorrow at 6:20.
Good night.